Hello and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is all about the events that occurred today in years past, both recognized by actual historians, but mainly things I personally find intriguing enough for me to bring to you. The source of this information comes from a smart device application on this day, the icon of which is shown as cutoff prevention at the beginning and end of each episode. The music in the background is Cloud 10 by Fareoh, which I found on the YouTube channel No Copyright Sounds, aka NCS. For links to the app, music, and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar. Anyway, on with the show! Today is Wednesday, aka Wednesday, May 11th, 2016. In 2014, 15 people were murdered and 46 injured in Kinshasa during a stampede caused by tear gas, which was thrown into the stand by police officers attempting to defuse a hostile incident. In 2010, David Cameron became Prime Minister of the United Kingdom after talks between the Conservatives and Liberals occurred to form the UK's first coalition of government since World War II, after elections produced a hung parliament. Now, depending on what they meant by hung, it can go one of three ways. Am I right? You know what I'm saying. High five. In 1998, India conducted 3 underground atomic tests in Pokhran, which included a thermonuclear device. In 1997, Deep Blue, a chess-playing supercomputer, defeated Garry Kasparov in the last game of the rematch, becoming the first computer to beat a world champion chess player in a classic match format. In 1996, the 1996 Mount Everest disaster occurred, in which on a single day, 8 people died during summit attempts on Mount Everest. In 1995, over 170 countries extended the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty indefinitely and without conditions. In 1987, in Baltimore, the first heart-lung transplant took place. The surgery was performed by Dr. Bruce Reitz of the Stanford University School of Medicine. Also in 1987, Klaus Barbie, yes, the same Klaus Barbie from that museum in Rat Race, went on trial in Lyon for war crimes committed during World War II.
Love your dude.
You are. Nice. Thank you.
Okay.
It's beautiful. We had a great time.
In 1984, 8 people died in a fire at Six Flags Great Adventures Haunted Castle. In 1973, citing government misconduct, Daniel Ellsberg had been charged for his involvement in releasing the Pentagon Papers to the New York Times dismissed. In 1963, a racist bombing in Birmingham, Alabama disrupted a non-violent demonstration during the Birmingham campaign and precipitated a crisis that eventually involved federal troops. In 1960, in Buenos Aires, Argentina, 4 Israeli Mossad agents captured fugitive Nazi Adolf Eichmann, who was living under the alias of Ricardo Clement. In 1949, Israel joined the United Nations. Also in 1949, Siam officially changed its name to Thailand for the second time. The name had been in use since 1939, but was reverted in 1945. You know what? It makes sense for a country that is famous for having chicks with dicks to not make up its mind on what to be called. In 1945, during World War II, the aircraft carrier USS Bunker Hill, while off the coast of Okinawa, was hit by 2 kamikazes, causing the deaths of 346 of its crew. Although badly damaged, the ship was able to return to the U.S. under its own power. In 1927, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences was founded. In 1910, an act of the U.S. Congress established Glacier National Park in Montana. In 1889, an attack upon a U.S. Army paymaster and escort resulted in the theft of over $28,000 and the award of 2 Medals of Honor. In 1867, Luxembourg gained its independence. In 1862, during the American Civil War, the ironclad CSS Virginia was scuttled in the James River northwest of Norfolk, Virginia. In 1858, Minnesota was admitted as the 32nd U.S. state. In 1857, during the Indian Rebellion of 1857, Indian rebels seized Delhi from the British. In 1846, President James K. Polk asked for and received a declaration of war against Mexico, which started the Mexican-United States War. In 1820, HMS Beagle, the ship that would take Charles Darwin on his scientific voyage, was launched. In 1813, in Australia, William Lawson, Gregory Blaxland, and William Wentworth led an expedition across the Blue Mountains west of Sydney. Their route opened up inland Australia for continued expansion throughout the 19th century. In 1792, Captain Robert Gray became the first documented white person to sail into the Columbia River. In 1502, Christopher Columbus departed Cadiz on his 4th and final voyage to the Americas. In 1310, in France, 54 members of the Knights Templar were burnt at the stake as heretics.
You have sullied your hands with filthy parchments of heresy, guardsman. How do you plead?
What? No.
Too late, heretic.
You heretic!
Die, heretic!
Oh, hold on. You're a heretic!
In 912, Alexander became emperor of the Byzantine Empire. In 868, a copy of the Diamond Sutra was printed in China, making it the oldest known dated printed book. And in 330, Byzantine was renamed Nova Roma during a dedication ceremony. However, it became more commonly referred to as Constantinople. Birth, Salvador Dali, 1904. Deaths, Bob Marley, 1981. And that concludes the show. Once again, check the underbar for any links you may be interested. For your dose of Past Events Daily, I am Ayo, and you are you. Toodles!